Alright, so thank you so much for clicking on this video because we have 5 new trusted leaks and Christmas came early this year, guys. Seriously, smash that like button. Let's try to reach 500 likes. Previous video, we actually reached our goal, which I'm really grateful for. So let's try to hit a bit less now. Let's try to reach 500. But what we're gonna be talking about today is something pretty important. And what I ask of you is to fully watch the video because this stuff is not something I pull out of my scrapbook. This is insider information if Tom Henderson's leaks are true. And that's exactly what we're gonna be looking into. More free-to-play content and news, season pass, squads, and next level destruction is all coming to Battlefield potentially. But we have been talking about destruction yesterday and all through the information is very vague. Looks like my predictions were correct. Now we actually have more info on the destruction and evolution of Battlefield 6. And after I've read this basically blew my mind. So here's a quick recap of what I thought we might be seeing. I thought we will be seeing 5 Siege of Shanghai-like buildings that can be destroyed by itself in a same place. But actually it gets much more better than that. We're gonna be seeing multiple buildings that can be destroyed from multiple sides. So there you can take like objectives on these buildings just like in Siege of Shanghai, but it gets even better. Not only can you visit these buildings and capture objectives like you did in Battlefield 4, there is an upgraded version. They can destroy in each of their own way on their own place and even fall on enemies and kill them. Now that is mind-blowing. Imagine 64 players fighting up and down, shooting everyone, and you destroy that building with your team. And team is something that I will get later on. But it seems like the destruction in Battlefield is increasingly improved each time we hear more news. If this is true, this could mean that potentially if you destroy building from one side, it will fall differently than it would fall from the other side. And it seems like if you missed Siege of Shanghai, now is your chance to actually look for the Battlefield 6 because it's happening again. As I'm saying in my last video, yes, it's gonna be happening. The destruction could potentially, if the leaks are true, this is huge. What they also said is that every single building across the map can be destroyed, and this is actually pretty big. In Battlefield 4, evolution was a great thing, but it needs to be improved in the span of 6 years. And it seems like it's actually happening. We're getting huge destruction, which makes Battlefield perfect. And this is actually really good information because it seems like to me, in my eyes, in Battlefield 1 and 5, destruction was hugely missing. Sure, you could destroy a few buildings, but you didn't really have the type of evolution you had in those Battlefield 4 games. And that's what really has me excited. Now, let's go on to the campaign. We also have some more news about the campaign. And sadly, the bad news is we have no info about the campaign. It doesn't mean it's not happening, it just means there is nothing. Either it's under top secret development and we won't be seeing Daniel Recker for some time, or it could potentially mean that it's just not happening. Games nowadays don't have campaigns. Simply put, most people prefer to play online and it's a big time and money saver. But something that has me pretty excited is this Battlefield phase they teased. Why is it so detailed? I don't think someone is gonna be looking at Battlefield faces all the time when they play Battlefield 6. Just in my honest opinion, there is still some potential for some small war stories or something like that, and that's what really keeps me excited. Some sort of a small campaign could still be happening, but DICE, please give us some info soon. Because I really want to see that shiny hair and Daniel Recker back in Battlefield 6 if that is possible. But even if campaign doesn't happen, I'll be pretty excited. Now the next thing we have, and we have a lot of things to cover, so keep watching. We also have battle passes. Now battle passes are a huge thing, or season passes for that matter, that could be happening in Battlefield 6. So to put it shortly, Battlefield 6 could be actually having some type of free content. So if you think it's gonna be Battle Royale, we're not exactly sure, but it's not scrapped yet from what we know. Battlefield 6 Battle Royale was in development, but we don't know what happened with that. So to be sure, we still have battle passes available. available that will be basically just like in Warzone, I'm guessing. And what's really important to note here is that battle passes will be a huge thing because Battlefield 6 might have some form of free content. Just like Warzone had Battle Royale free, Battlefield 6 might be something in it for free, so I'm not sure what it is, but I'm guessing something players can play long term. So yes, it might be Battle Royale if that was not scrapped. And people are saying, and there's rumors around that, you know, Battle Royale was actually scrapped in Battlefield 6. So could we potentially be seeing just a few game modes in Battlefield 6 free-to-play content? That's something we shall see soon. But we're also seeing something pretty important, and that is crossplay. A lot of people are still playing on the older engines, and that's completely fine. I also have a PS4 in my room. But what you have to know here is PS4 still might be happening. It's still in development if the leaks are true, so take it with a grain of salt, but most likely it is, I'm guessing. And what we saw so far is that it's gonna be actually crossplay. So crossplay for PS4 and Xbox One, and then actually crossplay with the PS5 and Xbox Series X and PC as well. If this is true, this brings massive amounts of players to the player base of Battlefield 6 and potentially reviving the franchise of its former glory. And I'm really rooting for you, Battlefield 6. But let's get to the really exciting info, and the best info I actually saved up to the end to actually reward you. Now, what we are also seeing is number of squads and platoons. So for example, 4 squads will have 1 platoon or 1 simple commander, and this is what I've been talking about, commander mode or something similar in Battlefield. And in previous games we didn't have such a feature. We simply had 1 commander and 32 players, right? But it seems like DICE actually stepped up and said, okay, we have to improve Battlefield 6. And here's what they did. Now, what I've heard is the Assault, Engineer, Support, and Recon might be returning. But what's pretty important to note here is you can't take a single objective down. Instead, you can use 3 or 4 squads to take an actual building or objective. So a single squad per se can't really destroy a building just yet unless they do really like a lot of damage, and this really promotes team play. Yes, this is pretty awesome. Imagine you being the commander and finally telling people what to do in a video game. Hey, go attack A, go attack B, and it actually makes sense now because you have to work as a team for it to take effect, and it's not like one player with 17 kills is gonna make a huge difference. With team play, just like in Battlefield 3 campaign, you can actually go through the hardships and fight with honor. But something I have been talking for a long time is the commander mode, and this is something I've been telling DICE to do for a long time that would greatly improve my life.
Is the intel warfare. This is where you gather intel, but you also prevent the other commander from doing so. The second layer is about providing your troops with vehicle drops, supply drops to keep the war machinery going. And the final layer, that's when you go on the offensive. And on top of all of this, you will be able to play as a Battlefield 4 commander on a tablet connecting to a live game server on PC or console, making it a true next-generation team play experience.
But if we see a special commander mode, that would be pretty cool in game, considering that something like a mobile app is not being used anymore. I am definitely excited to see what happens next. Now, I think this is actually a great idea. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One being for Battlefield 6 is a great way to get older players to actually play the game as well. But on my opinions on the Battle Royale, it can be done very well. I'm on the same idea as Tom Henderson. This could be a perfect way to actually reinstate Battlefield into the franchise and show players what Battlefield 6 really is. A free content is is also a great way to actually let players test the game before actually buying it or attracting new people who can't afford Battlefield 6 yet. Yes, Battlefield 6 is made for very strong graphics and can be capable of playing on very strong graphics, but it can also be capable of playing on low-end PCs, for example, $500 PC or a PS4 for that matter, which is a very old console. But that being said, this Battle Pass is also a great idea that I will keep purchasing for extra skins, maybe gun buddies or whatever we get, maybe even skins for characters for that example, and if you don't really like it, you don't have to buy it. And that's one really great thing about Battle Passes I really like. They're not forcing you to buy them, but they're actually as a way to support DICE for their hard work. A huge thanks to Tom Henderson for actually talking about this, because everything we have heard about Tom Henderson so far has been pretty legitimate, especially the 128 players, so huge hearts to this guy. And anyway, I'm gonna be showing you a clip of Tom Henderson.
That's the game will be revealed this spring and also release in holiday 2021, which usually means we'll be getting a release around October, November, and also a reveal of the game around about May, and that is just comparing the timelines to previous Battlefield titles. As well as this, they also mentioned that they'll be taking full advantage of next generation consoles with brand new features. And up until this point, EA have not confirmed or denied that the next Battlefield game will be coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And if you guys want to refer back to my other video, I did state that there was work going on previous generation consoles, and it seems like that is still the case up until this point.
That being said, be sure to check him out, link in the description, because without him, this video wouldn't simply exist. We wouldn't have this information, and he's really a nice, good guy, fella. I really appreciate him. That being said, subscribe if you want more Battlefield 6 content, and this is Battlefield 6 Central, signing out.